Ahoy and welcome back once again to the channel. For those of you new here, my name's Gary. I like watches, and if you're here watching this, you probably like watches too. And you may have seen a video I posted a few weeks ago where I shared with you the latest releases on AliExpress. And in that video, there was a nice little Rodland watch. And yeah, quite a few of you in the comments section to that video expressed an interest in seeing that watch in more detail, and they have kindly sent me one to show you in this video. And it's a quirky little thing, and it's also relatively affordable even when compared to other AliExpress watches at the time of filming this. 130 US dollars. I'll put the conversions on the screen for you. Yeah, that is, well, I guess around average for AliExpress, but Rodland do make premium watches for AliExpress, and so yeah, generally their prices are a little bit higher, but there are a few reasons why this watch is perhaps more affordable than others. The first reason being the movement. It's got the Seagull ST1701 in it. That is quite an affordable Seagull movement, used a lot, produced in massive numbers. Again, a little bit quirky because you've got the running seconds hand in a complication at the 6, but it is a fully automatic movement. No hacking though, so when you pull the crown out, the seconds hand won't stop. No date complication on the movement, obviously no date complication on the dial, so no ghost position, just a single position on the crown. Yeah, it's a nice movement, does the job, and like I said, it's a bit quirky because of that sub dial. But the really quirky thing is when you come to change the strap, and when I saw this watch initially I thought, oh, that'd be quite cool to try it on some different straps, and when it arrived during the unboxing, yeah, I was looking at the watch thinking, well, how am I supposed to change the straps? It became quite clear quite quickly that there's 4 screws underneath the watch that you have to undo, and then those sort of, well, lugs, I don't know if you'd call them lugs, but those retainers, we'll call them retainers, then pull out, and yeah, there's 2 retainers on each end, and yeah, strap changes are a little bit fiddly. So if you're going to buy this watch and you don't like the strap it comes on, find the perfect strap for it, put that strap on it, and then leave it. Just leave it. It's an interesting system. It sort of messes with the proportions a little bit. Proportions are important when it comes to the look of a watch, and I think the strap is a touch broad for the case. The case is only 36mm wide, and the strap at its widest is 21.5mm. So that proportion of strap width to case width is a little bit off, but in a way it has to be like this, because in order to get those screws into the back of the case for this to be the sort of system that they've used, I don't think they'd be able to bring those any narrower, because then the movement would be in the way. I guess they could have made the watch a bit bigger. But yeah, you can see what I mean when I say it's a little bit quirky, isn't it? So a fairly broad strap on a fairly small watch, fully polished, no transitions, no real corners, all very rounded, very pebble-esque. The polishing is very, very nice. No sapphire crystal. Sorry, Alex. That is a massive deal breaker for hashtag blame Alex. And not just Alex, actually. A lot of people out there won't even consider AliExpress watches unless they have sapphire. So in a way, they've sort of dropped the ball there a little bit. Sapphire crystal isn't that expensive these days. The crystal that they've used is nice enough though. A piece of box domed mineral crystal. Doesn't make the watch too thick, actually. It's only 10.5mm thick. That's helped by the fact that the seconds hand isn't sitting above the other 2 hands. Of course, it's in a separate subdial, and it's ever so slightly countersunk into the dial, and yeah, that brings me on to the dial. Gorgeous dial, really nice, interesting case shape, and therefore a nice looking watch, but aided by this fading dial. Gorgeous color, quite a few available on AliExpress, different sort of styles and designs, but I think this is actually the best one. I love the color. Yeah, I love the fact that it's got a fading fume dial. Nice applied indices at the 12, 3 and 9. Yeah, nice print on the dial. It's a very very good looking, vintage inspired sort of retro watch, isn't it? 100 meters of water resistance, does have a screw down crown actually, a screw down case back, a nice leather strap, it feels soft enough, nice buckle, it's signed, fully polished like the case back fully polished as well. That is going to be a scratch magnet. You've got a few details on the case back as well, and then Rodland Watch Co. engraved on the back too, which is a nice touch. No branding on the strap though, so it seems to be a fairly generic strap. It sort of goes in terms of its colour, but yeah, I suspect most people that are interested in this watch will be eyeing up their own strap for it, and I think that would be a wise decision. Although, yeah, good luck changing it. Nice hands as well, fully polished, very soft, sort of rounded hands. The style suits the watch. The way they've been shaped and finished also suits the watch and those applied indices. That hour hand, yeah, quite an interesting shape, isn't it? Decent length to the minute hand, and the seconds hand is just a very simple, standard sort of flat, tiny little seconds hand. Not a lot to say about that one, really. So yeah, I quite like this one. It is a little bit different, like I said at the beginning, a bit quirky, a bit unusual. Of course, there's a few things that I would change. I would definitely put sapphire crystal on this because there are just so many people out there that won't touch it with mineral crystal, sadly. I'd also probably make it a little bit bigger, 36 millimeters. Although squarish sort of cases do look a little bit bigger than their dimensions suggest when on your wrist, but still, I think this is going to put a few, well, the size I'm talking about, it's going to put a few people off, and maybe making it a little bit bigger would have meant that the strap proportionally would look a bit better as well. I'd probably make the case back brushed, only because that's just going to scratch up an absolute treat. And yeah, I think that's probably about it. Of course, those changes would make the watch a little bit more expensive, but yeah, I think people would pay $150 odd for this watch with those changes. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. Right, I will continue to try and get more of these new releases from AliExpress into me and onto the channel as soon as possible. Yeah, guys, if ever you see a watch on AliExpress you like the look of, let me know, and yeah, I'll do my best to review it. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching.